For Senpei's 30th anniversary in this dimension's chronicling and existence, a total and well done remake of Sonic '06. No glitches or bothersome loading screens and additional new content. At Smalster Boy. Here's a screaming Sonichu. I still like Duma Sonichu more. At CPU_Sonichu. Oh please. Holy water does not sting me at all. You should try Mama's holy water. At Oranger Theorange. Thank you ChrisChan, very cool. At CPU_Sonichu. This is Sonichu, not Mama ChrisChan. Ask me the questions here in DMs please.
Sure, one moment. Most of the questions are directed at Christine. Dear Christine, if you could have had Sonichu appear in any Sonic game, what game would you choose? Answer at your own leisure. I've got plenty of these question submissions and have picked the best ones out for you.
That one I definitely answer with no problem. In her favorite classic Sonic game of all time, Sonic CD. And seriously, I would love it if someone did a fan animation version of the opening and ending animations with me and Rosie in the ending part in them, complete with the Sonic Boom tracks. Full versions of the videos, not the short versions that came in the original Sega CD disc. And made into DLC for all platforms, including PC. And that DLC should be online for all platforms for Sonic Generations, Forces, and Mania as well. Quick to install, and ready to go. Mama tried to install the mod she downloaded of me for Generations, but it was too difficult for her to figure out at the time, the hard way.
Here is a batch of 10 questions. Feel free to answer them when you're ready, with the amount of depth you feel is necessary. Who is Perceptor Sonichu and what is their role? And are they a part of the chaotic combo?
Perceptor is one of the intelligence of our local group. She is the most intelligent, almost an equal with Magi-chan, but Sheila's not psychic. She is a shiny Sonichu, and one of the specials with the most direct link to the chaos energy from the rainbow of 2003. We call on her for more intelligence, analysis, and insight. The Chotoic combo, as Mama had dubbed our group, mainly has been centralized around myself, Rosie, Blake, Wild, Bubbles, Angelica, Punchy and Magi-chan. All other special Sonichus and Rossichus, including Mama, Christine-chan, and Crystal-chan, are not initially part of the group, but we keep everyone in contact range for their skills and help. Of course, between Mama, Christine-chan and Crystal-chan, they are more involved as secondary leaders. Magi-chan had originally started the group, as fated, and RC-chan's help in organization and so on.
If there was one thing you'd like to change most about the Sonichu series, what would it be and why?
Speaking for Mama from her memories and experience, essentially to change even one thing in the books she has drawn and written over the past years, not counting additional details that were originally left out, like Dr. Renskaisaw working with Giovanni and Eggman in Book 1 for example, is to literally change and alter history in C-197. Which in turn, would literally alter and change our present in both C-197 and 1218 in this timeline. But, if she did have the choice to choose without any negative repercussions or consequences upon our present and future, she would want to remove every anti-LGBTQ depiction and statement she had ever written and portrayed.
How do all the variations of Sonic the Hedgehog coexist in C-197? Do they all get along with each other over there?
In C-197, there exists our one and only Og Sonic the Hedgehog, and he has the combination of powers and abilities of all of the other old dimension and timeline Sonics. Hella's mainly the present day video game modern one in physical appearance, and Hella's not going to have blue arms ever. So, yeah, he has access to the abilities of the Area Kiyomi Sonic, Oroid Sonic, and just about every other Sonic ever chronicled in this dimension. But in how they get along together, your answer to that can be read amongst the Archie comics.
Dear Christine, many consider you an interesting person. As such, what do you feel is the most interesting thing about you that you love and would never change?
Funny, she used to be unable to see herself in a far ahead time of the future. Ask her that question, she would draw a blank. But now, Definitely in 10 years, in 50 years, in 100 years, in 1,000 years, in 1,000,000 years, into infinity, she would still be alive. Kiki no, all goddess overpowered, defending Woodville, helping everyone else, protecting the earth, and having visited as many other old dimensions of interest, and as needed of her presence, and help in putting them back in balance.
Would you say the Charlottesville is sick is good to living?
Charlottesville, Virginia, in general is mostly a safe and good place to reside in, commute, and be in, with all of its lustrous and expansive history and kind peoples in it. It still has its flaws, of course, but don't let that deter you.
What have you been doing during quarantine? Your favorite shows to watch, video games to play, etc.
I, Sonichu, can definitely answer that question. Personally, since the quarantine time pretty much really started after Mama and I swapped bodies on March 31st, with Rosie by my side most of the time, keeping me and this body safe, and working with everyone else here at this temple and so on. I have been pretty much living life, psychically, cosmically, and interdimensionally monitoring the events of not only the merge, in continued progress with confirmations from the news, tweets, current vids, visions and meditation, and so on. Other than that, well, I've also been playing Pokemon Go, binging and watching whatever from the iPad, getting out and about as much as possible, and moving about with these legs and all. I continue to personally feel, experience, and witness the genuine progress of everything, that all lead to me finally getting back to Cookville, and with this body for the better future of this Omega timeline of ours.
How does the government of Cookville operate exactly? The procedures are only ever really hinted at in the comics, so a detailed explanation would be appreciated.
Politics. You mentioned politics to Mama in the past, it would go over her head, although she has had subconscious knowledge and know-how of it all from ChrisChan, and so on with her deity responsibilities. But in Cookville, it is literally the same as any other city and area throughout the United States in both of our two dimensions. Fatter as the one constant between both dimensions, regardless of which side of the freaking Iron Curtain you are in, the politics remain the same. There are differences between the self-counterparts of some of the elected officials and whatnot, like Trump's self-counterpart, and considerable mental opposite, is literally Herbert Garrison from South Park, Colorado. Yet he touts himself as Trump, to keep up the chronicled appearances, like in the show. Regardless, Lisa Simpson is set to be the next president of the USA in our merged dimensions, or in both dimensions, period, however you wish to phrase it, since we'll all be in the same dimension without the freaking iron curtain dividing us.
How exactly does an OC come into existence? Are there limits to OCS powers?
Original characters and fictional characters come into existence by typical normal means of birth, or elaborate as chronicled. We are generally pre-existent for everyone to discover, and chronicle about in your dimension, as you all are for us to chronicle in ours. The mutual thing is that depending on the author in either dimension, should we choose to add or alter a detail along the way in chronicling, it literally translates, and transitions into that individual who is being chronicled by the direct and original creator, as, in part, we can be considered to be your original creators as well. Use common sense, and mull it over for yourselves. It is very much metaphysical and simply meta.
If you could have a sequel to any video game, what would it be?
Nuclear Chaotix, a re-release on modern consoles and PC, and a sequel to the original 32X game. Another game Mama would love to see a re-release, and maybe a sequel, Sonic Shuffle. A sequel to Lollipop Chainsaw, for some odd reason, also came to mind.
Thank you so much. These are all great answers, and your followers will be most happy to hear them.
Cool. That was a brain bender.
Dear Christine, are you still a fan of Animal Crossing? Do you play Animal Crossing: New Horizons? Thanks in advance. Feel free to answer back whenever you are ready.
Hey, Lanechu. I'll take a few minutes now to answer the question set. Mama still like Animal Crossing, but she has not played the games in a long time. Last one she played was the one with the real estate on 3DS. She has not played ACNH. She does not have a copy. I have not played it yet either.
Hi Christine, have you ever played any of the Legend of Zelda series, and if so, which games? Have you got a favorite Zelda game?
She has played most of the Zelda games. Par with her memory, cannot say for sure, but the one she got the farthest in was either Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker.
Hey Chris, do you ever find yourself looking back on your life and wishing you'd done anything differently through the years? If so, what would you change? If not, why not?
That is a doozy of a question. She has considered that before. She cannot just remove anything having to do with the haters and trolls in the past, because that was a major part of her further self-development. Even though she wanted to, she cannot, because that world royally screw up this dimension/timeline set as it is. Anything that she would change, if she could, that would not have too big repercussions on anything. She would swap the Og Sonichu medallion, as well as the second one, that fell to the manipulation of Blue Spike, with duplicates, so then the Og one would stay on as the fully upgraded medallion, that would be worn today.
Dear Christine, what episode or sub-episode of the Sonichu series would you consider to be your greatest work?
Presently, I'd give 3 answers to that in no particular order. The entirety of Sonichu #0, and book #15 that is still in process, which expands on that a lot further and better, and Night Stirrer's story.
What single drawing or panel have you spent the most effort on?
Single drawing? How about a 9-sheet sized masterpiece? Took a few days to complete it.
If there was one piece of advice or bit of wisdom you could give to your past self, what advice would it be? At what age would you give the advice to yourself, and why?
Holy crap, has Mama given that topic a ton of thought before, and it is a 3-parter, going out of order for a reason. B. February 24th, 2000. 18 years old. C. Birthday party, with the circle of gal pals all there in attendance to witness. A. She would tell herself, "Oh young Christian, you will be most expansive in your mentality and open mind. Also, these gal pals of yours are only hired help. You can do better than them in genuine friendship, so."
Dear Christine, Sonic the Hedgehog Euro's favorite food is chili dogs. What Euro's Sonichu Euro's favorite food?
Oh, a question for me for once. I actually enjoy a good fruit or vegetable salad. Processed and cooked meats, chili dogs are included in that, are good, but growing up as a wild Pikachu with a protective pair of parents over my developmental early years, fruit is just common, juicy, and good locally in the forest. On the veggie side, though, I am still allergic to pickles, not cucumbers, though.
Dear Christine, are you getting any of the next general consoles? If so, what games are you excited for?
Taking you mean the new PS5 or Xbox S generation of consoles. Mama had not really given that much thought, and I have not as much either, considering when I'll be in a new timeline free of this pandemic and all of that.
Do you have any advice for amateur writers like me who are just getting started?
For all amateur writers, in general, who are getting started, simply put, take your time, write what you know, feel, and will. Meditation to clear and focus your mind is beneficial, and make sure you are going into your work with genuine passion and love. There you go. I'll check in again later. At Sonichu Art. My dreams have come true. At CPU_Sonichu. That's cool, but a Sonichu that tall is very rare. Our average height, including myself and Rosie, from foot to top of head is 3 feet 5 inches. At Sonichu Art. Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for the biology lesson. Translated. Listen well, everyone around the world. ChrisChan Sonichu is our goddess and savior. She goes to the right of the remaining errors as we coexist in the same dimension combined with all the original and fictional characters. Our goddess hears and speaks all languages. Advim homeless. Oh dang, I got more hate out of me. You know what they say, if you spit upon me, I shall spit upon you in return. This is fair in the eyes of God. Leviticus 2:23. at CPU_Sonichu. You're not alone in that. Mama responded after finding all of that hate art, and what happened after her retaliation? Not much. The stupid haters are gonna do what they're gonna do. And you know what they want, a response and rise out of you. They win if you retaliate. Hashtag fiery Joker actually got a bunch of details right when it comes to foresight ability, and this was a dilemma Mama had been dealing with in her visions, as vague in detail as they were. And every one of you all will recall that Mama did imply, when she shared her visions and whatnot in the past, pretty much how each of you will, or have interpreted that, regardless of cynicism in any form, because that is a literal moot point. Yes, that includes hashtag AYNY.
Christine, have you kept up at all with modern US politics, and if so, are you planning on voting? Thank you in advance.
As much as possible, and needed for our conscious to know. We know everything else having to do with politics from the wisdom of the cosmos, as well as many a future vision and foresight, so it is a moot point to watch the news constantly, but to see and hear of the events off and on plenty and enough to confirm the path of events being continued onward as it should and will.
Hey Christine, do you know what happened to the Dreaming Studio?
I take it, you mean the workshop Mr. C. Robert you had built in the backyard and worked from more than 3 decades ago. It still stands here, and it has been pretty much used as storage for a lot of things, but it had been cleared out of the most unnecessary things within the past year.
Hey Christine, does C-197 have some sort of dimension-wide police force that you control to enforce your laws on different worlds around C-197 like Cybertron or Equestria?
That job is mainly set up for amongst the deities and deity types, and Aurora is not the correct term at all for them. There are individuals with the overpowered levels, who voluntarily keep tabs, and do the work as well, such as those mentioned in the Transformers media, involving the shattered glass dimension and so on.
Besides the Sonishues that are obviously a cut above the rest, you, Sonishu, and Majin, which Sonishu do you think is the most powerful, and why?
Taking it you are referring to the most powerful amongst the regular Sonichus and Rossichus, as opposed to the specials. That is a really tough call to make, as the population, including those owned by trainers, are up into the 100,000s to millions, and all of the variables like excellent ebbs and fourths, pumped up with macho brace, shiny or not, yada, yada, yada. It is not as easy to answer as out of all of the mutuous in existence, which one is the most powerful. Obviously that would be our one and only Mutuo, that was originally cloned by Team Rocket Earth scientists, and Mr. Fuji.
Dear Chris, what is your advice to someone who wants to be internet famous regardless of gender etc.?
Internet fame has its hefty prices and whatnot. Also, it falls into the category of wanting to become popular, as that is fickle and transparent as well. But the best sage and sound advice I can offer for someone who wants to go for it: be yourself, do your best, be honest with yourself, make content that genuinely feels right and good with you. Yeah, I'll need lots of luck and charisma to me, sick, amongst the big wigs of internet fame. Flip side of the coin, you will see a ton of hater comments and email, simply ignore them. Generally, I would not read the comments, but if you do not take any of them personally, or let any of them hurt your emotions, mentality, and feelings. Take them with that heavy grain of salt.
Christine, what is the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
Ham, turkey and cheese omelette, with salt, pepper, and a dash of ghost pepper sauce.
Dear Christine, have you considered sexual reassignment surgery, SRS, an orchiectomy, and/or any other gender-affirming medical procedures?
Yes, and this body is going to become fully, genuinely transformed and birth-able.
Hey Chris, have you watched any other episodes of Pony Life aside from the premiere yet?
No comment.
Who gave you the idea to get a DNA test from 23andMe? And did someone advise you to make a video about it?
That actually was suggested by Idea Guy during that bunch of events. No video making was suggested, but the Facebook post was made back then.
Does a reverse mortgage currently exist on the Chandler house? If it does, since when?
Nope. that is all for now. Please feel free to post another set of 10 questions at your leisure.
Thank you for all the answers.
At Hellenic Firenze. And he never used water again. Rosie, Sonichu, you need to bathe someday. Sonichu, okie dokie. Done. At CPU_Sonichu. Correction, I bathe most every night in the shower with Rosie. At Hellenic Firenze. When haven't this happened to you before? Staring at Angelica ICU. Dude, she is my sister. Oh yeah. We are all siblings. At CPU_Sonichu. We are not blood siblings. The common thing is that we are special Sonichus and Rossichus, and our origins involved the chaotic rainbow of February 2003 when Supersonic collided with me at Station Square and all that. At Hellenic Firenze. That makes sense. Good to know. It was also a stolen joke from B-movie that they are all related. At Endless Warfk. Meh. At CPU_Sonichu. Continues to refuse to answer for her anti-slime war crimes. But the war goes on, and we will bring you further coverage as the destruction of Gwendal continues. Hehe. Slime. At Jack's Dodo Bird. Lame. I would love to see her actually make a new comic, based on the current slime war. At It's All So Ugly. Same, she really needs to address it before Quokville is reduced to rubble. At CPU_Sonichu. It has been done and over with. Quokville is safe, solid and still there with all its civilians. Shut the fuck up, Ben. You can shut the fuck up too. At It's All So Ugly. He's very serious about this. I've tried to reason with him, but his mind is made up. At CPU_Sonichu. We have greater things than your petty alt timeline to worry over. Ben, you are not the prophet of this timeline anymore. Again, dude, shut the fuck up. Any more further on this, and I'll block you. You're no longer riding on our fame. Give him back, Christine. Why are you doing this to us? Why? I'm an abomination from where I'm from. He was the first to be lying to me. I love him. I want Magician back. So tell your goddess to bring him back. At CPU_Sonichu. He will return to you soon enough. You need not torture anyone. It will not return your Magi-chan to you any sooner. At Hellenic Firenze. Message heard loud and clear. Sonichu and Rosie will be released. It's All So Ugly. From ChrisChan Sonichu of the Alpha Timeline. Your slime and punishment ended long ago. Quokville and Arizona have made amends. Our mutual grievances remain with you and your motley crew. Even Phantom Horn, himself, has a horn to pick with you. See you.
In the meantime, here are the next questions. To Christine, could you give us the lyrics to your favorite Michael Jackson song which was released after his death in this dimension, but where he was still alive in yours? You can answer whenever ready. I believe that question number 4 is directed to 1214 Christine.
Here are some of the lyrics from Alpha Timeline. Michael Jackson's Ride or Die. I'm getting older, I don't lie. I do not feel the age. I've got my wisdom, my faith, I'm a sage. Life is a stage, we play our parts, but in my life I stay young at heart. I've been up, down and around. I'm not from this part of town. I've come from the hood of child, their youthful antics are from the wild. It is a miracle to keep that mood, when getting old has got you brewed. Verse, I'm living my life in this later age, I'm a bit of a sage, but my youth keeps me wild and alive. Gotta stay young, because it's alright or die.
Who is your least favorite troll? Okay, the other questions. Mimakuro's least favorite online troll. Blue Spike, hands down. Do you keep written notes on the ongoing CPU and merge law, or how do you keep track of it all?
The details and ongoing events are continuously noted in this brainer's subconscious and backed up in multiple backup cloud drives in the cosmos, between Mama ChrisChan, Magi-chan Sonichu, and me, Sonichu, Prime. As well as all of the other collective wisdoms, experiences, and insights of every single other self-counterpart in all other dimensions and timelines. You want a proper chronicling/catalog of it all? Ask Magi-chan, in person, for the documents files.
Dear Christine, why didn't Tails make an appearance in the Sonichu comics?
Mama has her choices when it comes to chronicling and her arts. She simply did not think or feel it well to bring in Tails in this dimensional Sonichu books.
What is the meaning behind the name Married Sana comic?
That goes direct to that elderly cyborg Guila's self-counterpart in this dimension, who works at the McDonald's around here. Mama was going with a pun from the witness humor he had expressed, and feeling the upset from what had happened that time. Likely, he was married, but she was not sure, so she went with something from Mary old Mary Murno and smoosh the Muriedo term, also implying that he had used to be more merry and positive since he was that old. Anno Romeo for his comical delivery and word choice in each interaction.
Why did you decide that out of all the things, art is your passion? Why do you pour so much time into art?
Because it resonated the most with the core of her soul, and this body, the sacral chakra and heart crystal. Plus, Mama really liked the arts.
Question for Christine. What do you consider your greatest strength? What do you consider your greatest weakness?
Strength, endurance. Weakness, the autism, but it has become less of a weakness, and there is literally none of her soul, and this body, that is weaker than the autism.
Christine, during the time when you were mute as a child, was there ever a time you wished you could have spoken up about something?
Offhand, that was super long ago, and could hardly recall. But after a meditate into recollection, there are a number of things that Mama had wished she could have said between mid-1983 and 1989. But out of them all, it would definitely be at any time in the 4th grade, before the teacher, the aides, and the guidance counselor pinned her to the floor, because if she had, they would have been more easily able to understand her. But she did not, and everyone got that high level of really frustrated to the point of Aerelita's abuse the brat, and make her go, groan and sigh. That one was a real deep dive, to recollect and put together.
What would you say is your greatest accomplishment in Universe 1218?
In Dimension 1218, getting as far as Mama did to get everyone to understand, appreciate, and listen to her on the true details about herself, from her own words, as well as the existence of all of us Ox who have been literally right next to all of you this whole time. She is also proud of me, Sonichu, Prime, having come as greater distance and growth for myself to be where I am, right now, speaking on her behalf, and answering your questions with full honesty and knowledge to the fullest of our extent.
Dear Christine, what are your future plans for the Sonichu series?
Plans are still in the works, but the book series, as it is, will never cease. All plot holes will be filled, and all events will be caught up, and chronicled as quickly as possible in the faster than time speed, personally. Everyone, you all, and we as well, are literally living the comics in this very moment, as we speak, breathe, continue on, and so forth.
Great, thank you so much. We really appreciate these answers.
All business contacts and inquiries are to be sent please, to email. Us mail to #SONICHUHEADQUARTERS. DMs and visiting/meeting me is good too. Also, I'm female. Please address and talk about me with the correct pronouns. She/her/hers. Thank you. My apologies for delaying in talking about this for weeks now. The Cookville shopping site has been closed because Mama's bank account was low when the payment was due for that month. Aside from that, I'm presently in cooperation and works with our allies and circles of friends who will be selling the books, #TSSSF cards, and so on our behalf, with personal agreements and blessings. This transition period has not been easy. We will have a couple more shops online as soon as possible for new patrons that will personally be tweeted on here. Medallions will also be reproduced with greater blessings and energy directly from the original medallion. That is this one on me, albeit with or without a literal megastone in it, and no shrinky dinks or the amethyst chunks. More details will come on this. And nobody has been forgotten during all of this. The freaking COVID pandemic has been most discordant with this dimension in this timeline. For now, chillax, everyone. Thank you for your continued patience and patronage. Also, I do not appreciate the pinned post on the Kiwi that speaks against buying things from Mama. Yes, I agree, her business model was well and good for a while, but there have been far greater events and dimensional resonances that needed to be observed and addressed. One day, you all will get the basic idea of the psychic and deity level problems our ChrisChan and I, Sonichu, have been having to deal with this whole time. Seriously, haters, bat, and neutral trolls, stop hating and hazing, and open your minds and hearts. That is all. Hey, everyone. Tomorrow's Bob's birthday, 79, and guess who literally sent her flowers today? At Kalesmithy. Even I'm mildly perplexed, regardless of having foreseen the package arriving.
Hi, Cole. Thanks for the flowers. They're beautiful. That was very sweet of you. I remember all the cards and letters that you mailed me when you were in college. I still have them, and I still read them. It's so nice to be reminded of your love and support. Thank you very much. I love you.
Very nice. Very nice. Alright. Hey, Cole! Got a little message for you myself, brother. This is actually Sonichu. Yeah, the one and only prime of the Sonichu species from our sister dimension that's literally right next door to you. Hey, you've been hanging out next to Iron Man. Literally. You've been hanging out with Iron Man and the Avengers and some of the DC heroes and everybody. But aside from that, I gotta tell you, Cole, all the stuff you pulled against Barb over these years, and I've heard about through Mama's memory, because I only just swapped bodies with Mama, like with Christine, like what, literally 6 months ago today, and I just have so many of my own shares of things and whatnot that I could solely speak to you on her behalf. Got my own problems here, hard grease, yada 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 yada, and so forth. It'll alarm me some. I don't have a script. I'm not going on a script, but Cole, I'll give you this props. At least you came through on doing this nice thing for Barb in her later years, right before we're actually going on with the Dimension Merge, where you will literally be able to meet Iron Man, but also just to drive over to Jersey and literally meet Batman. So have fun knowing that, Joseph Cole Smithy, and shoot, Zuzana. That's still a thing. And you know what? I'm just gonna do what Mama did, like, you know, hey, whoop-de-doo for him. Because she did that, and I just felt like I wanted to do that. Hey, you got married without inviting her and Barb. So there's that. Although I will say one thing on behalf of Mama. You're right about Barb on a number of things. And Mama was mistaken. Mama was mistaken. So there's that. She's learned. Barbara yelled at Mama, so there's that. Let you know about that. But it's a whole different kettle of fish. If you feel like you want to talk about this personally, feel free to call or text at pretty much the phone number that's been popularized all over the internet. Alright? Anyway, all the way here in Ruckersville, Virginia, in this dimension 1218, originating from C197, thanks, Cole. Have a good day.